eyes are on Megan Thee Stallion at the moment, as she appeared in court on Tuesday in the trial against Tory Lanez, who's been accused of injuring her with a firearm in July of 2020 after a party at Kylie Jenner's home in Hollywood Hills. So far, Lanez has pleaded not guilty, but if he's convicted as charged, he faces more than 22 years in prison and deportation because he's a Canadian citizen. Since the start of the proceedings, disturbing new details of the incident have been revealed. So let's take a look at the top 10 red flags we should have noticed from the Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez trial. Number 10, the argument. Megan told the courtroom about how the early morning incident unfolded. She explained that she was in the car with Tory Lanez, his bodyguard, and her friend Kelsey Harris after a party at Kylie Jenner's house. Megan testified that Lanez became upset with her once she asked him to leave the party, leading to an argument breaking out on the drive home. According to the rapper, there was tension in the car because she didn't want Kelsey to know that she and Lanez had previously had an intimate relationship. The argument in the car escalated when he turned around and told her that she needed to stop lying to Kelsey about what had happened between them. Megan said that she didn't want to tell her friend, quote, "Because I knew Kelsey had a crush on Tory. I didn't want to hurt her feelings. I didn't want her to know that I had dealt with him in any kind of way. So he knew I didn't want her to know that. I didn't want anybody to know. Now Kelsey's got an attitude because he was implying we were hiding something from her." She testified that she asked to be let out of the car twice. The first time she got out of the vehicle, but quickly got back inside when she realized that she was only wearing a bikini and did not want to be recognized. Back inside the car, she said Lanez and Kelsey were screaming at each other at the top of their lungs, and as they approached her house, it was then that the confrontation became even more hostile. Number 9, the incident. Once Megan asked to get out of the car again, she said that she and Lanez began insulting one another's musical careers. He told her that she wasn't successful, and she fired back with the same insult, telling him, quote, "This is where you're at in your career. This is where you're at with your music." And I feel like that really rubbed him the wrong way. He kept yelling and cursing. As she started walking away, Lanez then pointed his weapon at her feet and then fired 5 shots while yelling, "Dance." Megan then recalled the moment as she realized what was happening. She said, "I don't have to turn all the way around. I didn't have to use my feet to turn around." She then demonstrated how she turned her head without needing to turn her entire body, and that's when she saw him holding the weapon. Because her main injury was located in the back of her left foot, the defense is expected to say that she was not facing her attacker, so her claim that she saw him actually carry out the attack would be deemed unreliable. At this moment, Megan said that she was in shock and felt scared. According to her testimony, the group returned to the car once again, and she tried to compress her bloody wound with makeshift towels. To make matters so much worse, as she was tending to her injury, this is when Lanez started begging her not to tell the police, and she thought, "Why are you not worried about how I am?" Number 8, the hush money. When Megan took the stand in a downtown LA courtroom, the Houston-born rapper started off by saying, "I just don't feel good. I can't believe I have to come in here and do this." As she went on to describe the details of that harrowing incident, there was one part of her testimony that really stood out. The shocking moment when she revealed that Lanez had offered her and Kelsey Harris, her longtime friend and former assistant, $1 million for both of them to keep quiet about the incident. Megan recalled that after she was hurt, Lanez became apologetic and said, "Please don't say anything. I'll give y'all $1 million. I can't go to jail. I already got caught with the weapon before." The jury also heard a portion of a voicemail where Tory Lanez apologized and acknowledged that he was drunk at the time of the incident, but he did not admit to discharging the firearm. The court was also shown a text from Lanez to Megan where he explained that it should never have happened and he can't change what he did. The crazy part is just how much money he offered Megan in exchange for her silence, because it goes to show you that he was afraid of the consequences more than anything else. Number 7, she protected him. In April of 2022, Megan appeared on CBS for an interview with Gayle King, where she opened up about that tragic night, admitting that she told police that she had glass in her foot in order to protect everyone. Explaining her decision, she said, "The George Floyd incident had just happened, and because of that example of police brutality, she felt that the officers arriving on the scene would fire first and ask questions later." Megan recalled that there was still a weapon in the car, she was bleeding, and she felt something bad was about to happen. So the first thing she told police was that she had gotten injuries from stepping on glass. When she took the stand on Tuesday, the rapper admitted that by the time she was in the ambulance, after having talked to the police, there was no point in changing her story about stepping on glass. As she said, "People don't believe women." She went on to claim that she initially lied because she didn't think the big boys club that was the music industry would ever side with her. Megan said, "Every man in a position of power in the music industry has been giving me hell for going on the last 3 years. And in the black community, my community, it's not really accepted to cooperate with police." So although she could have chosen to tell officers all the details of the attack from the minute they arrived, it's clear that she was pressured into lying by certain factors that were out of her control. Number 6, divided reactions. The aftermath of the incident has become ingrained in pop culture commentary, and it has really emphasized a divide in the hip-hop community. The attack was most recently mentioned in Drake and 21 Savage's song Circo Loco, where the rapper accused Megan of lying about the incident. In the lyrics of the song, he says, "This be lie about getting shots, but she's still a stallion." The controversial lyrics directly reference her allegations against Tory Lanez. Drake also referred to her graduation from Texas Southern University last December in yet another part of the song and said, "Shorty say she graduated, she ain't learning enough, play your album. Track 1, K heard enough." In response, Megan tweeted that people need to stop using her incident for clout. She wrote, "I know I'm very popular, but y'all gotta stop attaching weak-ass conspiracy theories in bars to my name." She then went on to blast male rappers, calling them lame, and said, "Ready to boycott bout shoes and clothes, but dogpile on black women when she say one of your homeboys mistreated her." In her response, Megan also turned her attention to Drake's fans and told them to remember that they supported men who stood by a man accused of hurting a woman. In general, the attack and the subsequent discourse on social media has highlighted how the mistreatment of black women is still something that is largely ignored in society. Number 5, rolling loud. On October the 8th of 2020, Lanez was arrested for attacking Megan with a semi-automatic and carrying a loaded and unregistered firearm in the vehicle. By October 13th, a judge issued a protective order against him, requiring him to stay at least 100 yards from Megan and not engage in any written, personal, or electronic contact. But obviously, Lanez did not take these charges seriously, and on July the 25th the following year, he violated the protective order after making a surprise appearance on DaBaby's Rolling Loud set in Miami. According to live stream video footage, he was brought on stage in a disguise, wearing an oversized costume, and DaBaby said, "I'll give somebody out here $1 million if they can guess who's in here," just as Lanez emerged from the costume. As a result of that performance, his bail was increased from $190,000 to $250,000. But that was just another example of how casually the rapper has approached the allegations. He's also continued to dispute Megan's account of the incident through his music. In his song Money Over Fallouts, he said, "How the F you get shot in your foot, don't hit no bones or tendons." For quite some time before the trial, Lanez has been trying to convince his fans that he was framed, without specifically denying that he was the aggressor in the situation. Number 4, leaking discovery findings. In February, Lanez was accused of leaking discovery findings to the press, namely DJ Academics. The podcast host tweeted that Lanez's DNA was not found on the weapon in the case, as an attempt at defending him. Megan shot back in her own series of posts to her Instagram story saying, "I know some of your blogs on payroll, but please don't get sued trying to create a hate campaign. Be a real journalist and post facts." She went on to say, "Y'all got breaking news 15 minutes before court started and nobody has even been called in yet. You're trying to win a social media campaign. This is my real life. You're trying to get retweets spreading false narratives. Academics, why are you lying? What did you gain?" So Lanez was clearly trying to muddy the waters on social media by having other people post sensitive details about the case on his behalf. During the hearing, his lawyer Sean Hawley argued that he did not provide Academics with any of the information that he tweeted about. In response to the trial, the podcast host said, "I saw this doc myself. It literally says it was inconclusive in finding Tory's DNA on the firearm or magazine." He also said, "Meg can get the same document that they referenced in court today. Hopefully she's entitled to see what the DA will be using against Tory, being that she's the victim. It's a part of discovery. Ask the DA what the completed DNA test said, then come back and apologize to Big AK." Number 3, violating his restraining order. Since the whole ordeal occurred, a judge has forbidden Lanez from being near or contacting Megan. But he reportedly didn't take the memo seriously enough, Or at least he didn't realize that social media posts weren't part of the equation. The rapper was barred from speaking out or in reference to Megan on any social media platform. But in recent months, he's sent out several tweets aimed at her, denying her claims and hinting that she'll be found guilty of a crime and not him. On February the 24th, he tweeted, "Good D had me effing my two best friends and I got caught. That's what I apologized for. It's sick how you spun it though." Basically, he was trying to get the blame off of him, but only admitting to one part of the story. He also wrote, "You can't buy and tweet your way out of this one." Due to those tweets, Lanez was back in court on April the 5th. According to a report from Rolling Stone magazine's Nancy Dillion, the judge ended up siding with Megan. She tweeted, "Judge David Hereford heard nearly an hour of argument about Lanez's tweets and said, some seem to be clear messages to Megan." He added a new condition to Lanez's release and said that he's not to mention the complaining witness in this case in any social media. As a result, Lanez was immediately handcuffed and reprimanded until he posted the $350,000 bond. Number 2, previous violence. This isn't the first time that Lanez has been accused of violent acts. The rapper and his security allegedly attacked Love and Hip Hop Miami star Prince Michael Hardy, both in 2019 and in 2020. According to the police report, Prince told cops that he was at Club Vendome on South Beach sitting at his table around 4 a.m. when Lanez approached and struck him on the left side of the face. He said that when he turned around to make eye contact with him, Lanez had ran out of the club and took off in a Mercedes-Benz Sprinter van. That allegation came after the incident in 2019, which Prince said resulted in him needing teeth surgery after Lanez punched him at Live nightclub in November. As a result of those incidents, the reality star sought unspecified damages by suing him for physical, psychological, and mental distress. For his part, Lanez insisted that any actions done against Prince were done in self-defense. The two eventually reached a settlement in court for an amount which has not been disclosed. But both of those altercations paint a specific picture of the rapper's past behavior and his tendency to shift the blame onto others. Number 1, their dynamic. Under questioning from Deputy District Attorney Kathy Tarr, Megan told the jury that she'd only known Lanez for a short period of time before the incident in July of 2020, having met him that same year. She did explain though that they had a largely positive relationship leading up to that day. During her interview on CBS This Morning with Gayle King, she revealed that they were close friends as they had initially bonded over the fact that their parents had both passed away. But when Gayle asked if their relationship was intimate, Megan said, "I didn't have a sexual relationship with Tory." The two of them initially raised eyebrows back in April after they were spotted making TikToks and drinking together, which prompted rumors to swirl about the nature of their relationship. Surprisingly, 3 months after the incident took place, Lanez hopped on Instagram Live and said that he still considered Megan a friend, despite his felony charge. He said, "I don't ever want to come off like I'm here to bash this girl, or I'm here to talk down about this girl, or ever be at a place where I'm disrespecting her, because to me, as a person, she's still my friend, no matter what. Even if she doesn't look at me like that, I look at her like she's still my friend." But if he truly considered her as a friend, Lanez wouldn't have tried to push the narrative that Megan has been lying, something that he's been doing for more than 2 years. Well, that's everything that we have on the list for today. Please let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next video.